Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Snyder's Inc. Hope you're having a great Saturday. There's going to be a bit of a plug right at the beginning here, because currently, either today or tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing my very first episode of my wrestling podcast. I know what you're thinking. Why you mention wrestling here? Well, it's a new thing I'm starting, and I'd like to promote on any channel I can. So, if you wouldn't mind, there's a link in the description below. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to that YouTube channel, because either today or tomorrow, you will be getting that video. You'll be getting the first audio podcast. Yeah, and I would really appreciate if you listen to it. That's all. If you're not a wrestling fan, you don't have to. But, any subscription or anything will help. So yeah, I'd appreciate that. But we're not here for that right now. That's the one channel. That's not for this channel. Just the link for it is in this channel. You know what I mean. What we're here to do now is look at top 15 scary 911 calls that will give you chills. Anyways. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
Number 15, In a Whisper.
911, what is the address to your emergency?
By the Foss Street laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
What would you do if you were taken and your abductor was asleep beside you? Hopefully, you'd bravely follow this heroic woman's lead. She made the most of this opportunity to call police, despite the risk involved.
So what we got here is a woman who has been abducted, and I guess needs to whisper. Oh, you got a hold of police.
The Ohio woman told dispatchers in a whisper that she was in the bedroom of an abandoned house, being held captive by 40-year-old Sean Great. She begged them to come find her. She was hesitant to attempt an escape, in fear that she would wake her captor.
Is there any way you can get out of the building?
I don't know without waking him, and I'm scared.
Is there a bathroom in the house?
Well, his bedroom is closed, and he made it so it would make noise.
Luckily, the young woman was successful in leading police to the home, where he was arrested and charged with abduction. The woman had befriended Sean a month prior, after which this happened. Even more horrifying, this woman likely escaped an even more horrific fate, as 2 more women were found on the property, and Great eventually led police to a 3rd.
So this woman was abducted by a serial killer and just managed to survive by whisper phone calling the police. Wow. 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 Right on for her.
If it wasn't for her grit and determination to live, this monster might have gone on to take the lives of many more. Number 14. Unwelcome Guests. This scary 911 call found an unlikely hero in a 7-year-old. Carlos was just a kid when he dialed 911 in March of 2010 to report that 3 armed men had entered into his home in Norwalk, California. The door that the men breached
The 7-year-old's calling, please. Okay.
was unlocked at the time, and the men threatened the boy's parents, which is when Carlos hid himself and his sister in a bathroom as he called authorities. In the phone call, he begged for the police to hurry, and the dispatcher quickly delivered them, all the while calming the frightened children.
Really fast spring. Oh God, I'm out of them. Listen to me. Take a deep breath. I already have the police coming. I'm ready to help you.
Despite the men
Bring soldiers to... I That should make me laugh because this child's petrified. But I don't know why. This is the thing of bring cops and soldiers and everyone. All of them just to deal with these 3 people. I don't know why it makes me laugh. I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. But I found it funny.
And finding Carlos and his sister hiding, the young boy stayed on the phone and told the men that the police were on the line. The cowards then fled without harming anyone or taking anything. Carlos's heroism was astonishing to police. How did he know what to do in such a crisis? Carlos and his mother had run emergency drills involving what to do in just such an event, a lesson perhaps many families should heed.
I agree. If you have a child or if you're in a situation, you should always have a plan that your child should know in case of the situation where you of someone breaking in or them being in danger. Never let the child believe that there isn't danger out there, because there is. Always prepare the child for the danger. Let them know what they should do.
Number 13, Halloween. You wouldn't think that a harmless, scary movie would lead to actual real-life horror, but when 17-year-old Jake Evans watched Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, he turned into a monster. In a gated community in Aldeo, Texas, Evans became Mike Myers. There, he took the lives of both his mother and his younger sister. He originally planned to take the lives of his grandparents who lived across the street, as well as 2 other sisters, but instead he went into the living room to dial 911 and confess his horrific actions.
That's so weird. Like, that's the thing. This guy watched the Halloween movie and just instantly wanted to kill someone. Shows how weak he was mentally, to the point that it was that much of an easy influence on him. So, yeah, that just says a whole thing for how weak mentally he was and how kind of not all there he was.
During the 911 call, Evans very calmly explained to the dispatcher what he did and why, calling himself evil, but then goes on to say whatever.
Okay, is there any reason that you were so angry at your mother and your sister?
Oh, no, I wasn't. It's weird. I wasn't even really angry with them. It just kind of happened.
His entire written confession ran 4 pages long and detailed the motive for his actions. He claimed that his family members were becoming people he hates. He is said to have not been mentally ill prior to or during the event. In his confession, he wrote that after he took their lives, he ran to his room and yelled at the top of his lungs that he was really messed up. He wrote that he thought about the pain he caused his sister, but then justified his actions by remembering the pain she'd caused him. One day he may learn that none of this was justified.
So yeah, there's something wrong with him. The fact that he doesn't have a mental illness, I don't buy. Because you don't think this way. You don't think about someone coming that you don't try to justify yourself doing this. I think that's the problem, is he knows something's wrong, but he's trying to justify it in his own head. I'm gonna go turn my light on. Hold on a second. My apologies. I need to go turn my light on. It's too dang dark in here. But yeah, he's trying to justify his own actions while also knowing he's done something wrong, but he's still trying to justify it to himself.
Number 12, no brakes. Imagine you're driving down the road with your entire family when you realize your brakes are out.
Oh no. Oh, that would drive me insane. That would drive me insane. If that happened, no, I don't want that situation. Wow. That sucks. Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me.
That's what happened to a family of 4 while driving down a motorway in San Diego County. One of the passengers of the runaway vehicle, Chris Lestrella, called 911 to inform the dispatcher that the accelerator of their Lexus was stuck. During the call, which lasted 50 seconds, the dispatcher asked Chris if the car could be turned off at speeds that topped out at 120 miles per hour, with passengers praying in the back seat. The last thing heard on the disturbing call is a woman's scream.
We're approaching the intersection.
Okay.
We're approaching the intersection. Hold on. Pray.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
Okay. Hello?
The driver was a California Highway Patrol officer.
This guy, that is sad to hear that some reason the accelerator got stuck. And due to that, their family could not put on the brakes and had to drive, and by the sounds of it, made a very bad end. What caused that to happen?
While the other 3 passengers were his wife, her brother, and the couple's daughter. Investigators believe that the rubber floor mat may have trapped the accelerator. It remained unclear whether the Lexus was malfunctioning so that the driver couldn't shift into neutral or power it off. These terrifying last moments of this family's life are truly haunting. Number 11.
I'd say that is horrible.
Soul Plane survived.
The limited edition Instant Crossword Extreme Ticket is back. Play today.
Survivor.
Please don't tell me that's the only person who survived a plane crash.
When a helicopter malfunctioned in New Mexico, miraculously one of the passengers survived. This is her 911 call.
Oh my god, this is gonna be tough to hear, Boca.
Ma'am, stop yelling. Tell me where you're at.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. There's a big fire.
After reaching the dispatcher, Andra Cobb managed to describe the nightmare that spread before her. She herself was covered in gasoline, while 2 other passengers, the pilot Jamie Coleman Dodd and Zimbabwe opposition leader Roy Bennett, were also still alive. After the helicopter burst into flames, these 2 other passengers passed away before the police were able to locate and arrive at the scene. The desolate, rugged area delayed police response. Cobb was on the call for nearly an hour before rescuers arrived, during which she attempted to save Bennett.
Man, this goes on the thing for an hour, just waiting for help. Probably emotional, probably barely able to speak. She's covered in gasoline, so she's probably worried for herself. She probably has attempted to save her husband, but he's gone. She's in the helicopter's on flames. She has no clue. She can't go nowhere because she's in the kind of desolate area where if she starts probably walking, they may not find her. Man, I can't imagine the stress and worry that must be going through her head right now.
Encouraging him to breathe, the helicopter was 3 to 5 minutes into the flight when it went down, though it isn't clear what caused it to happen. What is clear is that Cobb suffered greatly and that her 911 call is harrowing. Number 10. The couple. 78-year-old Gunter Florchinger was married to 21-year-old Filipino native Carhina. While the age difference is certainly questionable, the couple lived in Port St. Lucie for about a year after having met online, and Carhina had a 4-year-old daughter from another man. Despite the age difference, there didn't seem to be any issues between them. That is, until Gunther made 2 phone calls at 1 a.m., one to his neighbor, asking her to pick up his wife's daughter, another to the police to confess his actions.
And that I have a baby in here, I called my neighbors to pick up the baby. Anybody who will pick up the baby is alright. After that, I will take my own life.
The elderly.
Why did he do that? So he took the life of his wife for who knows what reason, and then called police and his neighbor to pick up her baby, saying that if anyone does pick up the baby after that, he's gonna take his own life. Why though? Why?
Man had taken the life of his wife, then attempted to burn the place down with gasoline. When he called the police, he told the dispatcher that he was going to take his own life as well, which he did shortly after. The town had suffered a similar event not long before, and the quiet town was still recovering. After this incident, it must try and heal once again. Number 9.
I just wonder why, and I guess it's an answer we'll never get, but it feels like such randomness, because everyone thought they were okay, now nowhere that happened.
Baylor incident. On July 9th, 2010, 20-year-old John Maynard was working the night shift at the Taft recycling plant in Orlando, Florida, when the baling machine jammed.
I know this story. I know of this situation. I'm gonna let it play, because it's not like the one story where I won't let it play. I'm gonna let this play, but so I had to check that. It was an email. But nothing interesting. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let this play because it's not as bad, but it is a scary situation.
He unclogged the machine. Before he could get out of the way, it restarted with the compacting ram headed towards him. He managed to lift his body out of the way, but not his right leg. The following 16 minutes, which Maynard calls the longest of his life, were crucial to his survival. Somehow
I'm pretty sure I'm correct. There's a YouTube channel of his that has this full 911 call on it. In full.
He had the calm and level head to call 911 and save his own life. During the 911 call to Orange County Sheriff's Office, Maynard explained his situation and location repeatedly. He also told the dispatcher that this was not a prank call and pled for help.
Do you have anything there you can control the bleeding with, sir?
Sir, I have nothing, sir.
Is your leg, are you or your leg still stuck in the machine, sir?
I am out. My leg is down in there. It was at my ankle, sir.
He asked the dispatchers to pray with him and requested that they pass on a message to his family, including his stepdad who adopted him, the message that he loves them, being that he was alone at the time of the call. It's remarkable how calm he remained while experiencing this horrible incident.
He probably... Again, I know enough, I just don't know his mindset, but I feel that once that happened, he thought life was over. So he probably made peace with that instantly. And first thought was call 911, because if worst case, they find my body. I guarantee you that was worst case scenario for him. And best case scenario, he's safe. But judging by if he's telling people to send a message to his family, he seems to not believe he's going to survive. He does. But yeah, that is insane.
As he credits the dispatchers who kept him conscious during the long wait for first responders, Maynard posted his own 911 call to YouTube in an effort to aid other amputees.
There it is. So this video right here, this 11-minute video on the Crew 9T YouTube channel, which I recommend going. I don't know if he's posted anything since. I haven't looked. But yeah, the full thing is on here.
He's in adapting to life without a limb. He remains committed to helping other amputees cope through his YouTube channel, Crew 9T, and he has gone to live life to the fullest, even taking up rock climbing. While listening to his 911 call is scary, knowing the life he's since led is nothing short of awe-inspiring. Number 8.
True.
Abandonment. In this call, an 11-year-old informs dispatchers that his mom has been threatening to leave him and his 6-year-old brother to move away and have fun in California. Why? According to the boy, his mother said she didn't want to be around them anymore.
She said that she's gonna go to California and leave us at home by ourselves for a long time.
After he fell asleep, he woke up to find her gone. The judge who heard the case did not believe the 29-year-old mother's claims that this was all a miscommunication. She faced multiple charges and was not allowed
I'm gonna say kudos to this child. This child heard these threats and knew it was not right. There's something not right about what she is saying. I need to get help from me and my brother. Kudos to the thing, because he might, like I say, he woke up and found her gone. So I commend him for the fact that he knew, okay, I need to get help out here for me and my brother.
Supervised visits with her children, whose father was thereafter granted custody. Nothing short of horrifying.
Right on for both things. One, not allowed to see her children supervised because you can't trust her now. Two, give him custody of that father, who I don't know what he's like as a father, but he's not probably going to abandon him and go to California. So.
Number 7. Trapped in a cargo hold. What if you were flying and midair, you heard frantic screams and pounding beneath your feet? That's what happened to the passengers of this Alaska Airlines flight from Seattle to Los Angeles after a baggage handler fell asleep inside the plane's cargo hold. When he awoke...
How do you... What? Hold on. Let's look at the next. So let's look at the stupid part of this. Why would someone go to a cargo hold to sleep? What the freak type of thought process is that? I could see why he'd be terrified if he woke up and he knows it's on. He's like, this is not good. This is not good at all. However, there is still an idiot part of this, which is he slept in a cargo hold of an airplane.
The plane was on its way and the handler called 911 in sheer panic. I'm inside a plane. I feel like it's moving in the air. He told the dispatcher, asking him to please stop the plane. You can listen to the entire desperate call here.
Hello,
I'm trapped in this plane and I caught my droplet. I'm in this plane.
You're where?
I'm inside a plane.
When the dispatcher attempts to clarify the man's information, he discovers that the call is not coming from within the airport. Rather, it's coming from within the plane. While the call to emergency services helped keep the man sane, it was the passengers on board who heard the man beneath their feet and alerted the crew, forcing the flight to reroute back to Seattle after being aloft for only 14 minutes. Thankfully, the crew member survived, but not before having made this terrifying phone call. Number 6. Selena.
I'm not sure if there's a worry of him dying from. I don't know how planes work, so there might have been. I just don't know it. But I'm pretty sure he never had to worry about him dying. I don't feel. I don't think that was ever a concern. I might be wrong, but I don't think he had to worry about. I don't think he would have died in the cargo hold. If someone knows, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I don't think so.
was a rising star. Her Mexican fan base was huge. They adored her, and she was on the verge of crossing over in a big way. International success was in her grasp at only 23 years old. That is, until on March 31st, 1995, she had her life taken by her fan club president, Yolanda Salvador. Yolanda was an ardent and obsessive fan. She had somehow needled her way into Selena's inner circle and had been her fan club president and personal assistant for 4 years. She was responsible for collecting.
Never trust fans or anyone you don't personally know with financials or money or anything, because they are all can mess it up for you. This girl took the life of the person she admired. I want to hear more before I finish what I'm saying.
Fan club fees, and eventually was entrusted with managing 2 boutiques opened by Selena. The whole family trusted her, and she was given full financial access. Behind Selena's back, Yolanda took full advantage, and the boutiques fell flat.
As I was saying, she took her life, was caught, was taking money, took advantage of the privileges she was given of being given full financial access. She took advantage of it. Ignored the boutiques, which fell flat. I feel she probably confronted her, and in anger, after being caught and not knowing what to do, she took her life. There's no justification. This is an evil, evil woman with no sense of pride or respect or care about her. Pure evil. Pure selfishness and pure evil.
While staff began to flee due to the manager's poor treatment of them, her tyranny only grew as she was given more and more power within the Young Stars management team. Eventually, however, Yolanda was discovered to have been embezzling money. After she was fired, she asked Selena to meet her at the Corpus Christi Days Inn Motel, still wanting a friendly relationship with Yolanda. Selena complied, but there her short life ended when Yolanda took her life. As hotel workers called 911, the young rising star laid in the hotel lobby, where she repeatedly told them her attacker's name and her room number.
Right now? Yes, ma'am. She just passed out. Okay. I already have to call in. Somebody give some information so we can get the back. Okay. You don't know anything else about who might have done it or anything like that?
It's another lady, that's all I know. We're trying to find out.
And okay, this lady's about 40 years old?
Although Yolanda initially gave a written statement declaring her guilt, she later claimed that she was attempting to take her own life, and Selena got in the way. The entire scheme.
Come on. Really? That's who you go with? Come on, woman. You did it. You took this girl's life because she caught you being a thief. And she was going to rid you out of her life because you stole from her and you couldn't handle it. That's what happened. That's on you. You're the horrible human being who did that.
Scary and devastating event led to the anniversary of Black Friday, celebrated annually to commemorate Selena's premature passing. Number 5.
What? That's what Black Friday's for? What? I don't know how I feel about Black Friday now. I'm just saying. I don't know what...
Train tracks. 17-year-old Jacob Ohl from Georgia lost both his feet after getting run over by a train. He didn't hear the train's approach as he was walking on the tracks with his headphones in. After this happened, he came to on the side of the tracks, but he still managed to call 911 and report the incident.
What part of your body was hurt?
My legs.
Okay, are they broken?
I think it cut them off.
It cut them off?
Yes.
Police hurried to his location. Despite what happened, Jacob was still conscious, while Officer Andy Blimline applied tourniquets to both legs. The honors student was heading to college in the fall. In a statement on his GoFundMe page, his mother wrote, "We are so happy and feel so lucky that he's alive. We all feel lost in the overwhelming helplessness of this crazy situation." Number 4.
I'm not shocked by that. Dang, that's a poor dude. Lucky survived, but he has no legs now. It's not just, like, he did not deserve that. But it gives us a warning. Do not walk on train tracks. And if you do not be listening to music, don't be listening to anything. Because when that train comes, you have to be aware of where your surroundings are when you're walking on a train track. Even if you can avoid walking on a train track, just don't do it. I don't care what the situation is. Just don't do it if you can avoid it. If it's a situation for some reason you must be so aware of your surroundings so you can at least try to avoid that situation. Like try to avoid this situation.
The intruder. It was nighttime in the city when a stranger came to Karen's door along with her child. She was scared enough to dial 911. The recording of the phone call that followed is nothing short of terrifying. In the call, the woman tells the police dispatcher that a strange man is pounding on her door, yelling at her to let him in.
Are you still with me? Tell him you've got the police on the phone.
I've got the police on the phone. Who are you? Why are you here?
He's in the bedroom with her.
The woman had locked the front door and gone to her bedroom to make the call, during which the stranger is heard trying to break down the door. The dispatcher advises her to remain on the line. After confirming her location, the woman frantically informs the police that he broke through the door and is now in the house, and soon he's right outside her bedroom. The dispatcher tells her to inform the man that the police are on the phone, likely hoping this information will scare off the intruder. It doesn't. The woman repeatedly tells him the police are on the phone and asks the stranger why he's in her home. Then, chillingly, the call ends. Further information on whether this intruder was caught could not be found. Number...
Oh. The guy got her. The fact that we don't know if this guy got caught is scary in itself. Damn.
3. Family horror. A 12-year-old girl called 911, telling the dispatcher that her dad was being really mean to her mom after drinking.
Okay, we've heard this before, so I'm going to...
duration of the...
I'm going to make sure it's the one I think it is. If it is the one I think it is, then I'm going to skip it because we've heard it before.
Call went on for a horrific 17 minutes.
Get away from me! No, they're coming for you! They're all coming for you! The police and everything! You're harassing her! Are you coming soon?
Yes, honey, they're coming, okay? They're all...
No, this does not sound familiar. I don't think this is the one I'm thinking of.
During the call, the girl told her dad repeatedly to get off her mother. The girl, along with her 9-year-old sister, were the only ones at home. The children's mother was school teacher Angela Luke. At some point during the call, she managed to escape her husband, grab her children, and race to her vehicle. But the young girl, who remained on the line with the dispatcher, said her father wouldn't let them leave. Finally, the three managed to reach...
Okay, yeah, this is not the one I'm thinking of. Okay, good. I'm glad I played it, because I was going to skip one we haven't heard before. But yeah, the fact that this is a situation we've heard multiple times of a child calling the police because a person is hidden father's hitting the mother is not a good thing. We should not have to hear this multiple times. This situation multiple times. Horrible. The fact that this man even is that way is horrible. I hope he got arrested.
The car, but the horror doesn't end there. When they attempted to drive off, the man hung on to the car and fell off as her mother drove away. A day later, the man succumbed to his injuries. Unfortunately, despite surviving the incident, all three women must live with the inevitable emotional and psychological scars of this terrible event.
Okay, that took a shift. So, the man hung onto the car when they drove off and fell off the car as they were driving. And when he fell off the car, a couple days later succumbed to his injuries and died. That is very traumatic. I could see why that would screw a couple people up. That is scary as hell. Wow.
Number 2, face incident. When a frat boy lost his mind, a good neighbor stepped in to help. Jeff Fisher called 911 when he found 19-year-old Austin Haruff grabbing his neighbors rabidly, making animal-like noises. Fisher relayed to the police that his neighbors had his life taken, and the frat boy had attempted to take his life as well when he tried to help.
And you said you definitely saw a knife, and that's what he hit you with in the back?
No, I did not see it, but my wife's looking at my back, and it appears I got punctured.
The college...
The name Austin, whoever, looks familiar to me, but I don't know why.
Student's psychotic behavior had been caused by having ingested bath salts. This resulted in ultra physical strength and psychosis that included eating faces, which he was doing when police arrived at the scene. Austin had stomped out on dinner with his parents earlier that
Okay, so it's not... I don't know why this name sounds familiar, because I've never heard this before.
evening, who had then called police to report his troubling behavior. The event that followed was completely random and described in horrifying detail by this hero who stepped in to help. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released a small mixtape and I'd love to know what you think of it. Tap the circle icon in the top right corner, then tap my mixtape to give it a listen. It's also linked in the description below. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be...
Subscribe to my channel too. Don't subscribe to his, subscribe to mine. I upload every day. At least attempt to, unless something comes in the way, and I can't. I try my best to, though. Do it. Do it. You hear me? Do it right now. Subscribe to my channel. And the Retro Wrestling, and the podcast channel. Subscribe to that too. Do it.
Be notified of the new videos we upload every Tuesday and Saturday. Number 1. Trapped by a minivan. This heartbreaking 911 call reveals...
I can't listen to this one. This is where it ends. I'm not joking. This is where I can't. If you want to listen to it, I know this case. I know this one always just found her trapped in a minivan. So here's what I'm ending it here. I'm sorry for anyone who's listening to this going, why are you not? I can't. I've heard this before. I can't hear it again. Because when I know the story. If you want to hit, the link will be in the description below to the original video. You can do it there. But yeah, I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Comment what you think down below. And I'll see you for the next one.